And that's what a lot of people are talking about here in Washington, D.C. They don't believe that the president's got any criminal exposure on this because the Justice Department has been adhering to guidelines that a sitting president cannot be indicted. But president certainly can be impeached, as we've seen in the past. And could it be that these charges that were leveled yesterday by Michael Cohen in the plea deal lead to impeachment proceedings against the president? Well, we know that nothing would happen at least until the beginning of next year, and it all depends on who controls Congress. If the Democrats flip 24 seats in the November election, they could begin impeachment proceedings against the president. Here's what Sarah Huckabee Sanders had to say about that notion.
The idea of an impeachment is, frankly, a sad attempt by Democrats. It's the only message they seem to have going into the midterms. And I think it's another great reminder of why Americans should support other like-minded candidates like the president that are actually focused on continuing to grow the economy, continuing to secure our borders, continuing to focus on the safety and security of all Americans.
But even if the president were to be impeached by a Democratic-led Congress early next year, we could see a replay of 1999 where a Republican-controlled House voted on articles of impeachment for President Clinton. But then when those were handed up to the Senate did not convict. They acquitted. It takes a 2/3 vote in the Senate to convict on charges of impeachment. It's unlikely, according to everybody I've talked to, that that could possibly happen. By the way, Michael Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, told me that this is just the beginning of the process for Davis, that he's willing to talk to investigators about the true nature of his relationship with Donald Trump and things that might have transpired during that relationship. Cohen has set up a GoFundMe page, by the way, which has so far attracted $54,000. That's about a tenth of what they're looking for. Shep?
You know, Cohen implicated the president directly in a crime. Is there a noticeable sense of change in demeanor there, or was this expected?
I think it really was expected. I mean, here's a guy who famously, and it's been reported many, many times, said that he would take a bullet for the president, but then that interview with George Stephanopoulos suggested that his main goal was to protect his family and his country first. And I talked to Lanny Davis about this evolution that Cohen went through. And it seems as though he just decided that a world of hurt was going to come down on him. And it was time that he needed to say something about President Trump to save his own hide. But Lanny Davis said something very interesting. He said that when he saw President Trump defer to Vladimir Putin on this issue of Russian meddling in the campaign, that was the last straw. And he said to Lanny Davis, let's go forward with all of this.
Well, fascinating point in history. John Roberts for us at the White House, writing the first draft. The president's former fixer, Michael Cohen, has more secrets to spill about his ex-boss. That's according to Cohen's attorney, the aforementioned Lanny Davis, who says his client has more information on President Trump and he's ready to talk. So will Cohen actually cooperate with the special counsel, Bob Mueller?
Well, the answer is he will cooperate with everyone because he's committed to telling the truth. But I know that when he retained me, and as recently as yesterday, he's committed to telling the truth.
A dramatic evolution, really, from last summer, when Michael Cohen said he was so loyal to the president that he'd take a bullet for him. No more. Rick Leventhal is here with the latest. Rick?
And Shep, let's remember that Michael Cohen could have spent the rest of his life in federal prison. With this plea deal, he's looking at 3 to 5 years, and nothing in the deal compels him to cooperate with the Mueller probe or any other investigation of the president, but it also doesn't preclude it either. And as you heard Lanny Davis say, Cohen appears ready to cooperate. He's free on $500,000 bond. He admitted under oath to hiding $4 million in income from the IRS, hiding a debt to secure a home equity loan, and paying off 2 women to protect his boss and help him win the White House. As you heard John Roberts report, Cohen told the judge in the summer of 2016 he arranged to reimburse a tabloid for buying and then burying a story about former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who claimed a lengthy affair with Mr. Trump, and testified that he paid $130,000 to Stephanie Clifford, better known by her porn name Stormy Daniels, because she was ready to go public with a claimed affair. In both cases, Cohen told the judge he did so in coordination with and at the direction of a candidate for federal office to protect him from information that would be harmful to the candidate for the principal purpose of influencing the election. Cohen's attorney admits that he lied for years, but now says he's committed to telling the truth.
And at the same time, Cohen's attorney says the president of the United States should be prosecuted.
He does. In fact, he said that the president committed a crime and should be indicted. Listen.
Mr. Trump wasn't willing to sign those checks himself. He directed Mr. Cohen to make those hush money payments, is a federal crime. And if Michael Cohen, with the prosecutors in New York agreeing, admitted to that, then certainly Donald Trump is guilty of the same crime.
But we heard from attorney Alan Dershowitz, who says that the president is far from an impeachable offense and even far from a criminal offense.
If Mr. Trump, the candidate, contributed several $100,000s to his own campaign to pay hush money to women who were either truthfully or falsely alleging against him, that's not a crime. A candidate can contribute as much as he wants. If he directed somebody to do it, intending to pay it back.
Okay.
Cohen will be sentenced on December 12th. His lawyer says he doesn't want anything from the president, including a pardon. Shep?
Rick Leventhal, thank you. There is breaking news now on Fox News Channel, and this is just into us here at the network from our station Fox 29 in Philadelphia, which has just reported that New York State investigators have just issued a subpoena to Michael Cohen as part of the Trump Foundation probe. Again, Fox 29 in Philly reports New York State investigators have issued a subpoena to Michael Cohen as part of the Trump Foundation probe. It's brand new to us, just as it's brand new to you, and we'll have further reporting and analysis throughout this hour. The fallout from yesterday's bombshell legal developments now creeping onto Capitol Hill, where some lawmakers are now refusing to meet with President Trump's pick for Supreme Court. So is that pick and confirmation process in real jeopardy? News now on Fox News Channel and continuing coverage of the news that just came into us. And as it turns out, it's from the Associated Press, top of A3 if we could. And this is the new information. This is the writing of the Associated Press. Investigators in New York State have issued a subpoena to Michael Cohen as part of their criminal probe into the Trump Foundation, his charitable foundation. A spokesman for the Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo's tax department confirms the subpoena to the Associated Press moments ago. The subpoena was issued after Michael Cohen's attorney said the longtime lawyer and fixer for President Donald Trump has information that would be of interest to prosecutors at both the state and federal level. As a close Trump confidant, the AP writes, Cohen could potentially be a significant source of information for state investigators looking into whether Trump or his charity broke state law or lied about their tax liability. Anybody charged with a state crime could not be pardoned by the president. Messages left with attorneys for Cohen and Trump were not immediately returned today. Again, all of that from the Associated Press. Michael Cohen worked with President Trump for more than a decade. He rose through the ranks of the Trump Organization, eventually became executive vice president. Laura Engel in New York City now with more. Laura?
Hi, Shep. You know, Michael Cohen has a long history here in New York, both professionally and personally. The son of a Holocaust survivor, he grew up on New York's Long Island, became a lawyer and a taxi medallion owner within a few years of each other, and later purchased several Trump Tower apartments. And that's where the connection to the president really began. It has been a big week, as we've been reporting, for the married father of two, who will be, by the way, celebrating his 52nd birthday this Saturday with a new title to add to his roster, admitted felon. Cohen earned his law degree from the Thomas M. Cooley Law School in Michigan in the early 90s, but could be disbarred if he is convicted. That's one part of it. And according to published reports, Cohen first met the president in 2004 while he was looking to buy an apartment at Trump Park Avenue. After siding with Mr. Trump in a dispute with a condo board at Trump World Tower, he publicly promoted Trump Tower apartments as a sound investment to folks, something that led Mr. Trump to offer him a job. Cohen quit his law partnership and went to work for the Trump Organization in 2007. Now, Cohen has a resume in politics. He was named deputy finance chair of the Republican National Committee's Finance Committee in 2017, a post he resigned this year, citing the ongoing special counsel investigation. He also had Democratic ties, posting a picture of himself with Hillary Clinton in 2014 on his Twitter page with the hashtag Hillary Clinton fan. Cohen has also donated money to candidates on both sides of the aisle over the years, including Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer of New York and Republican Senator John McCain of Arizona. Cohen only recently became a registered Republican, too. He was registered as a Democrat in January of 2017. In March of that year, he tweeted that he was making the official move to join the Republican Party, adding that it, quote, took a great man at POTUS to get me to make the switch. Shep?
Laura Engel, live for us. Thanks so much. All of the news on President Trump's former campaign chairman and his former fixer somewhat overshadowed charges against a very popular Republican lawmaker from Southern California. The feds are now using the California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife of spending hundreds of thousands of campaign dollars on themselves, paying for everything from lavish trips to fast food.